So after doing some tuning and playing around and stuff, this is basically the nicest flight that I had so far. You can see there's still oscillations in there. It's hard to get flying into the sun this time of year when everything is rainy and sunny and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to show you a couple clips real quick before we get into some black box analysis, and hopefully you guys that know what you're talking about will stick around and kind of make some comments to help all of us out. So here comes those first two videos. So I guess the important thing to notice is that in that first clip, that was Betaflight stock PIDs. The second video was the latest PIDs that I have right now, and after redoing some soft mounting and that kind of stuff. Now I don't know if it's just the way that the GoPro went into the holder or anything like that to me, but the biggest apparent thing to me is how much better the motor sounded. In clip number 2, they were just a lot smoother, a lot less rough. You didn't hear just this nasty growl built into them, and you saw that pretty much in the video. This is the longer version of that same flight that day from the first video, and you can see just the amount of jello that's in it. And really all I did to start with was just start examining all of the different audio type of stuff, and filters, and just playing around with those and seeing what was going on. And then I started attacking the gains. So let's take a look at the logs and everything right here, and let's get started and see if we can start fixing this. Alright guys, so here we are, and this is the first flight log running the stock Betaflight PIDs on the Chameleon 6-inch. Everything is soft mounted. Motors, the flight controller, which is the CL Racing F4S, switched to nylon standoffs instead of metal, just to try to dampen the noise and stuff a little bit more. So the first thing we'll take a look at here is the actual gyro before the filtering. So we're going to click on debug notch here and click save. And then we want to look at the spectrum analyzer and take a look at what that is looking like. So if we have the log pulled up here and just turn up the noise level, you can see that we have notches on and just all kinds of noise that is present in the quad, all the way up to pretty much 800 hertz. So definitely noisy because of, you know, maybe the PIDs, and also probably a lot of degain. Now I'm going to save some time and pretty much tell everybody that running PT1, running with these notch filters on and off and everything, of course, didn't make any difference until you start adjusting the PIDs, because it just isn't going to work. If you want to take a look at what the PIDs look like, Let's just add a few here. We'll add roll and pitch and get rid of the spectrum analyzer. And then if we zoom all the way out and just kind of cruise through, you know, you can see just how much noise there actually is from the D-gain itself. Yeah, right there. So if I try to zoom in and out, you can see that it's pretty much just total oscillation. So the default D-gain PIDs are definitely too high. So I mean, pretty much what I'm seeing is that if you've got new stuff, you can go ahead and turn off your notches and move to PT1 and tune your quad. And then I guess the best thing would be then to come back once you get a pretty good tune and see what your noise levels look like then, because I have done that and I'm not going to show it in the video yet, and the noise levels get cleaned up tremendously. So I think that's the first thing, is lowering down all of these D values to get rid of this stuff. And I'll pull up another log here. So now if you look at this log, you can actually see that you know, the D might be a little too high still. This is where it kind of gets into me just playing around with things and asking the community for help. But you can see things that, you know, the D is following P around a little bit better. There's still a lot here on this roll axis. If we take a look at the pitch, you can see that sometimes it looks like it's doing what it needs to do, but then you get, you know, more oscillations and vibrations. And if you look at my sticks, most of the flight here is just long range type of cruising, steady state flight. And I'm assuming that probably between PID tuning and just better type of props is what the key is going to be. If you look at some 5-inch logs, which I'm not going to pull up, you know, they just don't look like this. Here's an episode where I did a full throttle punch, and you can see that, you know, we're getting good reaction and everything there. So I think the first step is definitely to go ahead and maybe turn off those filters, which, you know, all of this stuff flies great. I mean, the problem is the video and just the sound of the motors. I'll play the clips again here so you can just hear the difference in the sound of the motors between Betaflight stock and a little bit of P and way less D. I think like D gains are down to like 25 on each axis. So, but that's just taking a look right there. And, you know, it looks like maybe I still have a little bit too much D gain going on here. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to become as affluent in Blackbox and stuff as I can, but you know how it is tuning these 6 inches. The more you change, sometimes it's hard to just kind of figure out what exactly is going on, and that's where just like research and asking the community and everything just kind of comes into play. Going out of sort here though, if we go ahead and look at the debug notches on this flight, and we look at the spectrum analyzer, You can see here I have just a D-term notch on, you know, with the noise turned up. This is what it looks like all the way down. With it turned up, you can kind of see what everything looks like there. So we were able to eliminate some of it and bring it down a little bit. And then I'll open one more. Open up another one here, and you can see pretty much the same thing. A lot of random noise and resonance and stuff like that in the frame. But when you look at just the actual gyro traces themselves, you know, they don't look too bad. You know, the lines seem fairly thin to me, at least from all the videos and research that I've done. So this is after dynamic filtering and everything else. So again, it's quite confusing, and hopefully some people can kind of chime in on that. You can see there's definitely some heavy oscillations there on the roll gyro whenever I do that punch out, and then right before it you can kind of see some oscillation here that's very faint on the yaw gyro, which I'm pretty sure we want these lines to be as straight and smooth as possible, and not like this right here. So it seems like I'm getting a little bit of progress. The weather has been horrible, so I haven't really been able to test and fly a lot. I didn't want to just dump everything. I just want to kind of to give a big overview of what I'm seeing and just kind of get some feedback as far as like just to make sure that I'm on the right track and that I'm steering everybody on the right track that's watching the video. I'm way open for suggestions and comments. You know, I'm not going to monetize this video or nothing like that, just because I want there to be information out there for the community, because like I said, a lot of people are struggling with getting awesome video out of their long range quads, and some people are great at it and some people are not. So that's gonna do it. Talk to you guys on the next video, hopefully here in another couple days.